at a speed of 20 kilometers an hour. Although it was not necessarily cozy, it was still considered more appealing than horseback riding. The world's first high-speed train with 12 railroad cars was developed by Japan, and in 1964 the high-speed Tokyo Shinkansen line opened. This high-speed train hit a speed of 210 kilometers an hour during its test runs from Tokyo, past Nagoya and Kyoto to Osaka, and broke a new world record with passengers on board. Without any passengers, the line reached even a speed of 256 kilometers an hour. It was not until the International Transport Exhibition in Munich in 1965 that Europe opened up to high-speed trains. The German National Railway used the Class E 103 train, which ran 347 times between Munich and Augsburg at 200 kilometers an hour. Rail transport operations mainly consist of two components, the rolling stock and the infrastructure. The rolling stock is all about the vehicles, locomotives, passenger coaches, freight cars for example. The infrastructure comprises tunnels, tracks, freight facilities and so on. The operations are through a system of control. In the past it was all done mechanically, but today it's all electronized and computerized. When is a train to be categorized as high-speed train? To be categorized as a high-speed train, the train has to be able to go up to 200 kilometers an hour. That standard will be raised in the years to come, and then only trains that can reach a speed of up to at least 250 kilometers an hour will be defined as high-speed trains. Most of the trains have overhead wires that transmit electric power to them and make them move. The reason why high-speed trains can move on tracks as fast as 200 kilometers an hour is because of the driver input of 10,000 kilowatts and the fact that they are constantly manufactured with lighter materials. The other reason is that special tracks are manufactured and laid which cause less vibration. To reduce the vibration on the train lines and prevent railway tracks from expanding, tracks of high-speed trains are continuously welded. Thanks to this system, trains can easily run on these tracks at a speed of 200 kilometers and faster. Even though every line is designed differently, there is an arc on tracks every 5 kilometers which have a semicircle form and are common standard in the world. At this central station, 350,000 passengers commute every day, which means that this hectic and this rush exists every hour and every second. In many huge cities in the world, stations like this one are considered important transport hubs. How is it that in all of Europe, some 32,000 trains per day cover around 2.75 million kilometers on rail networks and arrive safely and on time at their destination? Of course, they all have to be precisely monitored and coordinated by a control and management center. To obtain more information about the preparation and the testing of high-speed train operating system software, I came to the center of it, which is located in Stuttgart. Mr. Sturbeck will first tell me how the operating system works, and after that we will move on to a testing phase. But before that, he explained how train drivers of the past gave signals to each other.
The very early steps of signaling was in fact a wooden stick that train driver gave each other, and this was the stick to say, if you have this stick you are allowed to ride on the single track. And so in front of a single track you had to wait for the train to come to give you then back the stick. This is the very, very early steps of signaling. And it went then over mechanical interlockings to relay interlockings, and then to, of course, today full electronic interlockings that are mostly deployed around the world.
Sturbeck started the tour with me by showing the computers which are usually found at operation control centers. How do operation control centers work? They are centers where train movements are continuously monitored. The computer systems calculate all departure and arrival times of trains, collect information on whether or not the trains reach their destinations on time, how many minutes they are late, where the delays occur, why they occur, and what consequences these delays have for the whole railway operation. In short, these computers control the whole railway network. We're sitting at the operator place where we can see different screens. They're called safe screens. In front of you, you have the two safe screens to control interlocking. By definition, interlocking is the system which controls the traffic within a station and also between several stations nearby. In other words, interlocking means setting the routes of the railway network in a safe way, which means setting the switches into the right direction or controlling that the train is never passing a red light, for example. It also controls the position of the switches. And it also controls which track sections are occupied or not. It means that the computer monitors everything needed to provide a safe traffic flow, which is why it is called safe screens. On the left-hand side, there is a traffic management system that contains all the information about the railway network. It knows about every department, the speed of the trains, and how they are located, and also about the availability of the crew and the trains. This system also controls the different stations and tells whether or not a platform is closed and how long it will remain closed. If the entire flow is disturbed, an operator can intervene and do the required corrections. So we can see a whole network on the screen. There are lines and circles and also a timeline, I guess. What are these lines stand for?
So you were correct. The green line stands for the actual time. Above is the past, below is the future. The small lines all represent trains with its number, train number, and the delay number, the foreseen delay number. If there is a circle below, this represents a potential conflict of two trains that want to use the same infrastructure at the same time. So there is effectively something for the operator to do. Either he can resolve it manually, or he can ask the system to propose a solution, or also perform the resolution of the potential conflict.
Mr. Sturbeck showed me that interlocking systems are not only controlled on the screen. The device that we see here is an electronic interlocking system. It basically works connected with the system that we saw on the screens. The electronic interlocking system is placed either at operation control centers or at train stations. It monitors the aforementioned aspects of the railway network according to the highest requirements of the safety integrity level, which ensures that passengers travel the safest way on railways. There's a small-scale railway system in the same room. A mock-up demonstrates how high-speed train technology and railway operation systems intercommunicate.
So here we have a full rebuild of a railway network with light signals, with the track-free detection, with real points that are all controlled and wired by the operator place that we just where we just set, and this then to simulate a real operation in a railway network.
So that will be the same thing apply. Does that apply to the bigger system?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a one-to-one rebuild, of course, with not the full safety level as in the real field, but is a real rebuild of in smaller scale.
There's also a device called axle counter, which is fixed right to the tracks. This device has sensors which detect the passing of a train and its direction. On a railway, it detects the passing of a train. And let's also talk about an electronic transponder. Also known as balises, this device is a part of an automatic train protection system placed between the rails of a railway.